Good for you, Katie. Good for you. I'm exhausted. Oh, hey everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's in the Tube, or welcome back if this is your fourth Katy Keene episode review. I apologize if I am literally out of breath. I am literally just coming back home from seeing the new My Hero Academia movie in theaters. Spoilers, it's a lot of fun. Story for another day. No, not the time. Also, I had to go to school today. I had to go to the gym. I came back home quickly, get changed, stuff like that. So I'm literally running on fumes here, but I'm going to try my damn best to make this as professional as I can. And also, I apologize for my hair. My hair has had a long day. I had a long day. I think all of you had a long day. Although, technically, I'm recording this. This is going on a Saturday, so I'm assuming everyone's having a good time. Anyway. I'm sorry, I'm zoning on in and out here. I apologize. Anywho, Katy Keene this week. This week has been probably the best in terms of like the episodes I'm reviewing in terms of the show. Not to say the episodes they haven't done beforehand are good or were anything bad or anything worse than that. It was just I had never like the Rookie earlier this week was the best episode they produced by far, and the Nancy Drew episode we got on Wednesday, best by far of the whole show. Now, did the trifecta get completed this week with Katy Keene's episode being the best? I think there's a fair case to say it. I feel like this episode could be right now the best episode of the series. And I'm not saying that just because I want to finish the trifecta. It's just I honestly did feel like I enjoyed this episode much more as we're getting the right amount of like moments. Like these are the right moments to have at these times. This is where the story is naturally progressing, and there's just enough comedic moments to allow it to have breath. Even though this is a much more lighthearted show. It's not, filled with bad stuff. It is just filled with, some negativity, and, but that's real life. Honestly, also living in New York is the same thing. But yeah, I do think there's a strong case for this to be Katy Keene's best episode by far. Obviously, I know we're only 4 episodes into the show, but for me personally, it is probably the best episode by far, and I will reevaluate that as I go through the butchered recap, which will be very butchered, since I literally had an hour to watch this episode specifically before I had to go. My plan was I was going to watch the episode, do the review, and then go out, but logistically, it just didn't work out. I just had too much. I got back home too late. I only had enough time to just finish the episode, that is, skipping all the commercials, and then I had to go. Like, there was literally no time for me to try to even do the review. Or at least I didn't want to rush the review just for the sake of, like, okay, I'll do the first half, then come back. No, I'd rather do everything straightforward, because that's how I am. But that's not part of the butchered recap. We begin with Katy sleeping. Alone, mind you. Obviously, with the events of last week's episode, she and KO broke up. So Katie's alone in sleeping in her bed, but it turns out it's not her bed. She's in Lacey's in the display window sleeping, and we don't know what's going on. Like, she just woke up. She's not properly dressed. Gloria shows up, kind of like asking questions like, "Why are you half naked sleeping in our display window?" And that's kind of where we, kind of a fun, chic way to kind of like begin the episode, because you really don't know what really happened to Katy. What did happen? How did we get to this moment? So let's rewind the clock back, I think 24 hours around that time period. I want to say 24 hours. I think this entire episode took place in the span of a day. Maybe 2. I want to say 2. Anyway, so it's been a week. We come back to a week ago. So it's going to still be, we're still in February time zone. After Valentine's Day, Katy is still going through her breakup from KO. She's going through the standard breakup procedures, She, after ending a long-term relationship, she's eating ice cream, she's watching stuff alone, she's staying home more often, she's not really focusing on the task at hand, and then we cut to present day, and she's kind of like, she is trying to just put herself into her work to just get through life right now, just to push through the breakup, not to think about it at all. She is trying to text KO, but KO's not responding, and I don't even understand why Katy was even thinking that KO was going to immediately respond. Like, they just broke up a week ago. Like, I never had a proper relationship before. I never had. But even if I was to go for a breakup, I wouldn't immediately talk to the person afterwards, because, like, you're still going for the changing dynamic. Because, like, even if you're going from relationship to friends, it's not an immediate swap. It takes time to adjust. So I don't understand why Katy didn't understand that. Hey, KO maybe needs some space. But anyway, she opens the door. She finds the Golden Girl standing right there, trying to like picture her, like, "Hey, you've been sitting on the couch for so long. Trying to have a girls' night. Get back out there." And she does, and she's like, "Yes, I appreciate it, but she just wants to focus on work right now. She just wants to get her mind off KO. She wants to get her mind off that." And did we mainly cut the glory to Lacey's? No, we cut to Josie and Alexander having their new status quo meeting, and Alex is pushing, "Hey, my dad's in town. You should meet him. Maybe this should be the way in where you can maybe be enough, like your physical presence alone, to be able to get the records off the ground so you can make your single." Which, honestly, at this point, yes, I know we're only like 3 episodes into the series, well, 4 now. I understand there's a story arc to be present here, but still baffles me a little bit that Josie hasn't yet exactly ditched Alex and tried to go solo yet. I mean, I understand things happen. She has a connection there, but still. But she's very hesitant on agreeing, considering the fact that it's just her, him, and her dad. It kind of seems like she's introducing her as a girlfriend than as a potential person to invest in. But we'll figure that out later as we cut back to, I believe we cut to Jorge and his new boyfriend, the firefighter from the last episode. Bernardo. I don't know how they pronounce it. It's one of those two. I'll swap it throughout the episode. They're about to have engage in some passionate sex. However, Jorge's parents just not come through the door, not to the door to his bedroom, but they just cut through the apartment, trying to drop off some near expired food for him to eat. I mean, I know it's free food, but still, I mean, he's your son. I mean, you can probably give him some more quality food. Anyway, that's where Jorge's parents get. We meet Jorge's dad for the first time, and so Bernardo and the parents meet. Things seem to be good, but then the thing that kind of is a bit iffy is not what I expected. Because usually when it comes to, like, well, not usually, but like there's usually, I don't know. Anyway, I forgot what I was going to say. Jorge's parent is not immediately surprised that Jorge got a boyfriend. Is that he got a boyfriend that was muscular, that was good looking, a firefighter, and that doesn't kind of sit well with Jorge at all. It doesn't really sit well. And then I think we cut the Pepper. We got the Pepper. Yeah, Pepper. She's trying to rent out the space for a movie shoot so that she can start getting some income in. She can start making some money. Trying to get stuff for the next big investment, the next big payment for turning Pepper's place into reality. She agrees with the filmmaker to use her space. How initially we felt, it's going to be one of those art house films, and ironically, I was just talking about art house films with the people I was seeing a movie with, and things were fun, and then they show up through the freight elevator, and it's not entirely an art film. It's an an erotic art film. Okay. It's New York. Seems fair enough. Okay. So then we cut to Katy, and she's working with Francois, but her mind's not in the game right now. She's just not focused in, and Francois say, "Hey, maybe you should take a personal day, get your mind off it." But Katie's like, "No, I need to work. This is how I'm going to get my mind off things." And that's totally fine to work. I get that, but there's when you're dealing with this, there's got to be another way to get through the. But Gloria summons her. She summons all the girls, and and it turns out they have a potential big client coming through, a recently departed fashion designer who's willing to go solo, and they feel like his business would probably boost sales at Lacey's, and Katie's dispatched to once again help her. It still bothers me that Gloria is always going to Katy for like, "Hey, I need your help with this big assignment, but you're not my personal assistant." She's still giving it to that rival character, so it's like, why hasn't the switch happened yet? I don't know, but I guess considering the fact that Katie's working half and half with Francois. I guess she can't fully commit. I don't know. Maybe I skipped that over in the last episode review or something. His name is Guy. I forgot his last name. It's a very complicated last name. His name is Guy. So it's going to be very difficult for me to remember that name because, like, oh, what's his name? Oh, his name is Guy. I'm like, I know there's an actor named Guy Pearce out there. I know that, but still, and Guy Ritchie, which both of them. Never. Moving on. So Guy shows up. He's immediately sort of impressed, but he's not really like feeling sold on the prospect of making an exclusive fashion line for Lacey's. He thinks that brick and mortar is dying, that the online market space is improving, and it's going to be the next big thing. And Katie's trying to convince him, but Katie, still being out of her game, is making mistakes, and Guy just leaves. Deciding like, yeah, I'm not gonna do anything here. I got other offers, and and Gloria's kind of scolding Katie for not being able to be on her best. Then Miss Lacey, the owner, comes through, and she admits the truth that, hey, listen, Lacey's is not doing so well financially. We're getting by, but if we have one more bad year, we're gonna shut down. So they need Guy's fashion line to kind of make sales ramp up again. And it makes sense. That's the way the business works. Brick and mortar businesses are a dying breed now. It is very difficult to have a new established place considering the fact rents are going up. And just people are just switching over like, online's better, it's faster. And depending on what you're selling and also competition. But anyway, so Katie is kind of emotionally, guilt-ridden to, hey, you need to fix your mistake, otherwise you pretty much are going to be fired. Because if this doesn't go through, we're probably going to have a bad year, and you're going to kind of screw everyone because maybe you could have had a chance to swoo him with your Katie charm, but you kind of flunder there. So we come back to the apartment. The Golden Girls are coming together. Horace bring up his current self-doubt problems with him dating Bernardo. Pepper's kind of no, I forgot to say. So Katie calls Pepper to hey, do you know where Guy is? Because I need a second chance to press him. And Pepper's on board. She leaves the porn shoot, I guess, to go help Katie. And I think this is where, we all re-meet at the apartment. And they're all, besides Pepper, they're all exchanging, where they're going on. Josie's going out to meet the dad. Katie has to go find Guy. And Jorge's still dealing with his confidence issues of him being able to date someone like Bernardo. Which, I'll say this. The thing that I learned in recent months is that if a person is interested in you, they're interested in you because of you. They don't care. Some of them do care about looks. I'm not denying that. There are people like that out there. And that is totally fine. That is a totally fine aspect to have. But if someone is purposely with you for a reason, for an authentic, genuine reason, don't really try to see oh, why are they dating? Why me? Why not another person who's clearly better looking than me? It's some of those facts are true, but at the end of the day, they chose you for a reason, and if that reason is authentic and genuine, and they really care about you, you shouldn't have anything to worry about at all. And so from there, Josie heads off to meet with Mr. Cabot and Alex at the country club. So they have their meeting, and while Josie's about to perform a song for Mr. Cabot, Alex's dad, Alexandra, or Xandra as they're calling her, shows up through the door, still being a little snidey prick. Again, I mean no harm to the actress Camila High. She plays that role fairly well, but she kind of is a prick. You kind of got to admit that. And so they're continuing the meeting. Alexandra is still unconvinced that the record business, it's not really something we should be exploring right now. Mr. Cabot puts her in place you got enough on your plate. You shouldn't really focus on the record business at all. Let this be Alex's thing. And while the conversation seems to be going, it seems to be fixing back up, Xandra drops a bombshell. A bombshell, what did I think of this? It turns out they're not, Alex and Alexandra are not entirely related. Yes, despite the similar names, they're not actually related. They're step siblings, because she mentions that Alex is being so cold to her right now, being so against her, even though when they were in high school he was all trying to be close to her. Which immediately is actually, hold on, is Katy Keene about to the show is about to go into incest right now? I'm okay, that's something totally brand new, but it turns out no, they're actually step siblings. Well, they weren't step siblings when they were hooking up, and then their parents started to date and got married, so then they became formally step-siblings. So, yeah, that was kind of a creepy thought that just rolled down through people's mind. And by the time Josie realized this, like, oh god, now it kind of all makes sense. She leaves in a huff. She puts everyone in their place. I'm like, listen, this is enough. This is not even about the music anymore. This is not my self-confidence here. I'm out. I'm not doing this anymore. She leaves in a frantic. I honestly like it is such baffling. Like I don't understand why, but like, how coincidental is it that an Alexander dated and screwed around with a girl named Alexandra, and then eventually they became step-siblings via joint marriage between their parents, and ironically their names are so similar, so no wonder these people confuse them as twins, because like, come on, I mean, I thought it was just lazy naming, but like, oh my god, this is a pure coincidence right here. But however, the one key piece of detail Josie figured out from the meeting is that Alexandra is meeting with Guy at Studio 43, 53, whatever. So that's the end with Katie and the girls. So they all head off to the studio. They get in. They all have fun. It turns out Jorge's man's already there to meet him. The insecurities kind of continue between Jorge and them, even though he's like calming him down, like, hey, I'm with you, I'm happy with you, don't worry about this, don't worry about that. But Jorge still has that insecurity problem. Josie drags Xandra away from her meeting to Guy so that Katie and Pepper can go in and try to swoo him away back to Lacey's. That doesn't really work out. Josie kind of has like she doesn't tell Xandra off, but she is very much firm with her, like, okay, now I know what you're really about, and that's not going to affect me anymore going forward. Then, yeah, so I think there's another scene, but I think we just cut the commercial here. So the girls, obviously, they're all like, okay, you know what, we did what we could, let's just have a drink, have some fun, try and salvage the remaining of this night. And that's when KO walks in with a woman. So it's kind of confusing, like, oh no, KO, are we about to lose points finally? Like, no, KO, you were doing so good. I was on your team. Team KO, pow pow. Anyway, no, it turns out that's not the case. Katie and KO go outside. Turns out KO was only at the place to apply for a new job since he quit Moxie's Crisis, because he assumed like, oh, because he and Katie are broken up, it doesn't make logistical sense for him to be close to Katie anymore. So he kind of wanted to like make it easier in terms of like the pressure of seeing each other again by just quitting the job. Which again, KO's like, you're doing the right things, man. Why isn't this working out? But the reason why KO gives is that why he hasn't been texting Katie back is that, yeah, you kind of put me... I'm depressed right now. I am so freaking sad right now because I was so happy with you and now I'm not, and it's because of you. So how am I supposed to talk to you even though, because you put me here? And that totally makes sense. It makes total sense why he does that. KO leaves. Katie gets comforted by Josie. But while this is happening, Pepper gets a call from the porn director that, hey, someone saw us doing the thing through the window, which is like, why didn't you freaking close the mirror, the blinds or something, or I don't know. And they called the landlady on us, so Pepper has to figure out like, okay, how do I still keep the place, but also get this shut down for her, but also keep this going so I can get the money. So she gets Jorge and Fernando to kind of help her out. They head to the loft. And they pose as police officers to kind of like push the landlady away so they can finish resuming the scene. So that was hilarious. And then from there, so that kind of that ends it there for a little bit. But no, before that, Jorge does tell Bernardo off, not in a bad way, but he kind of tells her like, listen, people are like, he's always looking around and like people are always questioning, why are we together? Why is this man with this guy? And it's unfair because in fact other people don't seem to care and they just kind of swoop in like, oh, he's single when he's not. It kind of like draws a brief rift between them as Jorge heads back off with Pepper back to the apartment. no, they go for pizza first nearby, a little after drinks pizza, and they find Guy there. They find Guy walking to his car, and Katy confronts him, and she kind of tells him off, and then Guy surprisingly said, "Oh, thank God, finally an honest human being." Because he's like, I feel like everyone's just been kissing my ass because they want me and my work for the potential of money. You're the first person that actually is telling me the legitimate truth about my work. So they kind of have this moment of bonding about their shared experience, and they head back to Lacey's so Katy can give him a different type of tour to kind of sell him over. And then so they're at Lacey. It's honestly a sweet moment considering the fact these two polar opposites from each other are still have connection. They have a firm ground of shared experiences, and for a moment it seems like they're having a romantic connection, and then Katy throws up because she's drunk. And Katy passes out. She calls the girl saying, "Hey, this happened. I think it's a bust." But no, before she throws up, she offers him, like, unofficially, "Hey, if we give you an entire floor to present your work, would you be interested in doing it then?" He's kind of firm on it, and then that's when she throws up. And then I think from there, then we're caught up with the flash we're caught up back to present day. Katy meets with Gloria, Miss Lacey. She kind of fills them in on what happened last night. Miss Lacey's like, "Listen, you do not have the authority to the authority to be able to make those types of deals because we don't have the space right now for it." But Gloria smartly suggests, for the first time of her life in the show, why don't we move the storage stuff to the basement so there's space up top so that he can work out of there? Miss Lacey's like, it's not a bad idea. So that's technically a win. That's a win in the books. I think, we cut back to... No, Josie gets a call from... No, early from the pizza shop, Josie gets a call from Mr. Cabot, like, "Hey, I want to have a meeting with you tomorrow morning, come meet." So they have the meeting. It turns out he's impressed with Josie's attitude and, her spirit, that while he can't at the moment resurrect the record label, he does believe in her as a talent. So he makes the agreement with her, "Okay, I will fund your first album, but you have to keep my son in the narrow." And Josie's like, wait, hold on, we're not dating anymore. Like we were a thing, we were a thing, but then now we're not. We're just strictly professional. And then Mr. Cabot's like, "Well, listen, I expect you to mend that." So it's like Josie's in a very tough scenario right now where it's like she kind of has to fake being Alex's girlfriend for the sake of getting the money. Now, what would Josie choose? We don't know. That's kind of where we end up her segment there. We cut back to Pepper with the director kind of like looking through the raw footage of the porno he shot. And he's being honest with her, like, "Listen, I don't want to get into porn. I want to be a filmmaker, but I got student loans to pay off, and porn pays well. So I need the money." And that's understandable. When you're trying to get into the filmmaking business, it is really freaking difficult. It's not easy I'm gonna graduate from college and I'm gonna sell my first spec script. No, it's not like that. Well, sometimes it happens, but sometimes it doesn't. Some people have to work harder than others to get to where they want to do. That wasn't in this case. And Pepper kisses him because they had like a romantic spark. So it's like, wait, so she's bi? I mean, I don't have a problem with that. But it's like I thought she was a lesbian from the last episode, 2 episodes ago, and now she's bi. Okay, I just wanted to I got confused there. Like I got confused there for a second. I thought it was maybe just sexual tension that she was going to reject, but no. Jorge and Bernardo have an honest talk. Bernardo's honest with him, like, "Hey, listen, I want to be with you because I really like you. I really do feel like you're a great person, and I want to be with you." So that kind of pushes Jorge's insecurities aside. Jorge has another scene with his dad, and it's a pretty powerful scene considering the fact of the material. Jorge's pretty much telling him, "Listen, I know you're my dad, but you've been talking to me like this ever since he was young. That he never felt masculine enough because of how he is, and he never thought he earned anything because of the direction he went through." And that's kind of an honest moment there. That was an honest talk that a lot of people have when they're in that scenario, because you never really know how parents are going to react to those sort of things, because not everyone is like a same-minded person. Everyone has their own different variations. So this honestly did feel honest and true. And then we cut back to Katy, kind of accepting the fact that, hey, KO's the breakup's still going to take a while to get over through, but she's starting to get back into her passion hobby, designing, clothes again. And she's walking to work the next day, and then she runs into the guy who is going to have the meeting with Miss Lacey to get the 8th floor. And the way Katie's conversation, like her internal monologue was going, it's like, is Guy and her going to eventually be a thing? Maybe, who knows? It kind of seems like they have something going, but we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Katie just walks away victorious. That like everything's fine again. Everything's going to be fine. And that's where we end the episode. And end this chapter. Honestly, for me personally, solid chapter. I think it is the best Katy Keene chapter we got in so far in the series. I know we still have many more chapters to go, but this is probably the best one they produced by far. It did things correctly. They still had the right amount of humor in there, but they had a message to tell and a story to tell, and I think it was solid. And they have a lot of interesting directions to go with next with Josie and Katie with Guy and Jorge going forward with his pops and his family, and Pepper's ever-growing quest to make her place a thing. And yeah, solid chapter, solid episode, and 2 thumbs up in my books. And is there anything I'm missing? There was a pretty cool... I forgot this. There was a pretty cool, like... I don't know if this was an original song or if this was a radio transition. I really don't know. But the 4 were singing a song briefly for about a minute and a half. That was a pretty cool song. And you can obviously tell they were lip syncing, or maybe that was the direction they wanted to take. I don't know. I really don't know. But anyway, so that was it. That was it for this chapter of Katy Keene. So great way to end off the week. Perfect week overall. What's in the tube? Let's give these showrunners and creators and writers a round of applause. The cast, great job. This week felt freaking long because I felt like the rookie stuff was like over 2 weeks ago. It was only Sunday. Well, by the time the next episode will be out tomorrow, so can't wait for that. Anyway, that's gonna do it for me, guys. So if you were unaware, this was What's in the Tube from ActionX. If you want to see what's coming up overall on What's in the Tube, we have Rookie and Nancy Drew reviews posting every Monday and Thursday. No breaks coming up, so we're kind of going solid in for a while now, so strap in for a typical schedule for a while. But if you only care about the Katy Keene stuff, that will be coming out. Yeah, so we have always new Katy Keene chapter reviews every single Saturday. Whenever it's done. I really don't know when the next coming out. Either Saturday morning, afternoon, or night. I don't know. It depends, like, what's going on in the day. And I think that's it. Oh, also, to kind of like piggyback off an older What's on the Tube, big announcement: the Proud Family coming back, louder and prouder. Let's freaking go! So excited. Now, will I review that season? Absolutely yes. I will not be doing an episode by episode review of it, but I will do an overall first season impression of it once it concludes. When is that airing? I don't know. They just announced it a few days ago, but I am so excited for that to come back. I knew it was happening. I'm so excited it's coming back. Can't wait for new episodes to drop on Disney Plus, whenever that is. Stay tuned for that. No one-offs coming up in the near future. I have nothing planned. Again, if something was to happen, I'll announce it, but nothing immediate in my mindset. And that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching again. This was What's on the Tube from ActionX. If you want to see more of us, please subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell for notifications when we have a new episode live. Like, favorite, share, if you please. Follow us on all the social media feeds, including Twitch and Twitter. And I got to use the bathroom, so I'll see you guys next time.